Okay, so that's the first disadvantage is only used in the Chrome browser. So other browsers we can't use. So second disadvantage is it's a static. Okay, so static means what are the activities which we have done now? The same activity we can do it tomorrow. Okay, so if there's any new activity or a new iteration which we have to perform, so that is not possible with the Selenium IDE. So what is mean by static? So what is mean by dynamic? So static means, for example, if there's a web page, web page, I'm trying to access the page by a certain username password. Okay, so let's consider username as ABC and password 12. It's a one role. So tomorrow, if I want to log in and do the same process, same testing with some other username, okay, instead of ABC it should be XYZ. Okay, if I want to do that, so this Selenium ID will not allow exactly whatever activity which you have done earlier, the same activity we can replay. Okay, that's a static one. So which is definitely not required for our real-time testing, because in the real-time testing everything will be a dynamic one. It's not also it will be an iteration basis. So for example, the one activity we have done, okay, but it should be done in the loop. Okay, like multiple times we have to execute the same test cases, but that will not happen. So if you want to execute multiple times and then manually also we have to do that same test case multiple times and then we have to record it in the tool. Tomorrow it will happen multiple times. Okay, so these are very static and very tightly coupled. This is the main disadvantages of the Selenium IDE, and currently in the industry no companies are using the Selenium IDE. So already I explained this all these four tools. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then I will quickly jump to next browser comments. Okay, so okay. So first I created on Maven project. So inside the Maven project, I have created this package. Right. So reason for the creating the package is, so in real time there will be multiple class files. Okay, so each class file will be used for certain purpose. Okay, so to segregate one among others, then we have to go with the package. Okay, so here I have created com.selenium. So tomorrow if you want to create any utility related, then we can create a new package and we can add all the classes which is related to that utility under this package. Okay, so now under this com.selenium package we have created one class file called test.java. Okay, so now these are the dependencies initially you have to add. Okay, so I will add, I'll give this whole pom.xml. Okay, so you can add it in the pom.xml and then come to this class file. Okay, now let me delete that unwanted lines. right? So first is this one. So WebDriver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. Okay, so earlier before to this, right? So what we will do? So we will be downloading this Chrome driver exe file manually from the internet, and then we have to give the path here. Okay, and then based on that path, while we running the program, it will pick the Chrome driver exe, and then finally, so that exe is used to open this Chrome driver. Okay, so this Chrome browser we have to open, right? So for that we need a exe file. So now we don't need that exe file manual download. Instead of that, we can give this command webdriver manager dot chrome driver dot setup, right? So by giving this, the Chrome driver will get set in our local. Okay, so that is the use of this particular line webdriver manager dot chrome driver dot setup. And next one, we have to create an object for this Chrome driver. Okay, so for now our testing we are doing in the Chrome driver. Okay, if you want to do it in the other browser also, we can do it. Okay, so let me start with this Chrome driver first. So we are creating the object for this Chrome driver. So reason why we have to create, because inside this Chrome driver only we have all the methods which is used to access the browser is present. Okay, now we want to use that methods means then directly we can't use. Okay, so that may be in static or non-static. Okay, now we have to create an object for that Chrome driver, and then we can utilize all the methods which is present inside this Chrome driver class. Okay, so now if I run this class as Java application, right? So it will open the Chrome browser. Okay, so from this Chrome browser, we can give whatever username, sorry, URL we need, and then all the activities which is required for our testing. Okay, so ideally only one browser should open. Okay, so I will check like why two browsers are opening. Okay, but that is not an issue for now. Okay, so this is the object which we have created for Chrome driver class. Okay, so from this Chrome driver class, we can use some of the methods. Okay, so first method is get Chrome driver dot, if we give dot, it will suggest all the methods which is present inside the Chrome driver class. First is a get method. So why this get method is used? What is the use of this get method? So this get method is used to enter the URL in the browser. Okay, so first we have to enter the URL, right? For all the web application, we have to enter the URL. So that will be the first step. So to enter the URL, this is the command, get command. Okay, so we can give any one URL. Okay, so what URL we can give, which should have some Selenium practice websites. Okay, we can search some Selenium practice websites. Okay, so let's take this web page. Okay, so we have to copy this URL, and here we have to give inside this as a string. Okay, double quotes. So this is the URL which we copied from the browser. Okay, we have to give this entire URL starting from this HTTPS. So here, if we see, it will looks like this HTTPS not present, but if we copy, so it will come. Okay. Now let me run this class. Okay, it have entered this URL in the browser now. Okay, so this is the very first step for our automation. Okay, now I need to maximize this. Okay, so it looks like what small, right? So for that, there's a command called driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. Okay, so I'll share all this coding with you. Okay, so this is the command to maximize the browser. Okay, so for now it is very small, right? So now if you give this command, it will maximize like this. Okay, let me close this and I will run that as well. Driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. It got maximized, right? So next command is get title. Okay, so for our validation, sometimes we have to get the title of the web page. So what is title? So here in this web page, okay, if we say title, this is the title, Selenium practice hyphen student registration form. This is the title of this web page. Okay, so we have to validate this as well sometimes. Okay, so why in real time, right? Okay, how this get title will be used? For example, you are trying to log in some application. Okay, you have to make sure whether this login is successful or not, right? So before to login, this title will be as login page. After login, this title will change to main page or some other this student practice registration, some other name. Okay, by checking this or by validating the title, we can make sure the login is successful. Okay, so that's why this get title will be used. So how to get the title? So this is the string value. We can print it in the sysout sys 2 control space driver dot get title. Okay, so this will give the title. Okay, so we see here, we can see this title, Selenium practice hyphen student registration form. So this is the title of this web page, right? So we can do a validation later. Okay, next one is a current URL. So this will give current URL of this application. Right? So why this current URL will be used? Okay, so this will be like very rare case. Okay, so in my real-time example, right? While I'm doing some testing, I have to navigate to some page. Okay, so some page means like first it should log into this login, and inside that there will be some other tab. So from that tab there will be other sub page. Okay, so there is multiple activities which you have to go do in order to navigate to this particular page. So for that what we can do, like shortcut is, we can get this page URL. Okay, so initial URL will be like tutorialpoints.com, and then once you log into this page, like whatever page we need, right? So once you log into that particular page, then you will be getting some other text will get appended here next to this URL. Okay, so we can manually take all these URLs from here, and then we can append by using this command. Okay, so initially we will be getting here as I will explain you. So sysout driver dot get current URL. Okay, so this will give this current URL. So what is the current URL? So this will be the current URL, but I have to do some actions, and then finally I have to log into this particular page. Okay, so this page I don't need to do this multiple activities because it will take some time. Instead of that, what I can do, I can give this URL, or else I can append this URL on top of this tutorialspoint.com. Okay, so let's consider we'll be having only this tutorialspoint.com. Okay, so this for now only this URL will come in the browser. Now I don't know like how to go to this Selenium practice student registration page. Okay, for that what I can do, driver dot current URL plus this one. Okay, so now this will be the entire URL. So this URL have to give inside driver dot get. Inside this I can give this URL. Okay, so finally what will happen, so it will go to this page first and then it will automatically get navigate to this page. Okay, so for going to this page I have to do multiple activities, right? So first I have to go to this so first I have to go to the Selenium and then practice and then I have to go to the Selenium automation practice page. Okay, so 3 pages I have to navigate. So I don't need to do this activity because there's a no validation in the Selenium page or practice page or anywhere. So just directly I have to go to this page. So for that I can do this option. This error colon. This is going here first and then next it will navigate to our practice page. See this get method, right? So it will wait. So till this page is loading, it will wait. Okay, so similarly there's another method. So if you use that, it will not wait for this page load. Okay, immediately it will try to open this web page and then it will do the action, whatever action is required. So but finally that will fail because once the page is successfully completely loaded, then only all the buttons will get enabled. Okay, so that we have to use this get method only. So let it load. We can check for another next method. Okay, next is this page source. So this page source, what it will do, it will, if you right click, go to inspect, so this is the source of this page. Okay, here we will be having all the HTML coding which is used to create this web page. Okay, so this command, right? So page load, page source command will fetch all the HTML code which is used to create the web page, but this will not be used mostly in the real time. Okay, so just we can give like driver dot get page source. Okay, so it will get all the HTML code which is used to create the web page. Next one is close and quit. So close is used to close the browser. So quit is also used to close the browser. What is the difference between close and quit? For example, if you're doing your automation with multiple browsers, okay, so in our case we are opening these 2 browsers, right? It is like for now it is opening unwantedly, but in sometimes we have to open multiple browsers and we have to do the testing, right? So if we use driver dot close, it will close only the current browser. Okay, so current browser which activity is going on, right, which automation is going on, so only that browser will get closed. If we use quit, it will open, sorry, it will close all the browsers which we have opened as part of this execution. Okay, if you open like 5 browsers, all the five browsers will get closed if you use this quit command. So we can see why it is not loading. write this command as well. Driver dot close. Driver dot close. Okay, it is taking long time to load. Okay, fine. So we can close this. So it's taking more time. Okay, but definitely this will work. Okay, this current URL. And this, if you see this console, close. Let me first. Okay, so due to this close, web page is closed. Okay, so now we can use this quit and we can check whether this browser also getting closed or not. Driver dot quit. Okay, so both the browsers got closed. That's the difference between close and quit. Right? Okay. Hey, just a minute, guys. I will connect in 5 minutes. Yeah, we can proceed. Something. So till now, any doubt? Okay, can comment that. So next is the navigation command. So we have four navigation command. First one is driver dot navigate dot to. Okay, so this is the first command. So what it will do? So this is also similar to driver dot get. So driver dot navigate dot to. Here also we have to pass the URL. Just a minute. So this command, right? So navigate to command is similar to driver.get, right? So what is the difference between driver.get and driver.navigate? So in this maybe like interview question also. So the difference is, so it is like used to navigate to certain page, right? So what are the URL which we are giving here? It will navigate to this page. The only difference is it will wait till page get completely loads. Okay, so for example, there is some activity. So once we enter to that this URL, so once we enter to this URL, we should enter some values here, this field, this field. So everywhere we have to start typing the text. This driver.get, what it will do, it will wait till the page got completely loaded. So once it got completely loaded, then only it will go for the next action. But this driver.navigate to, what it will do, once it enters the URL here, okay, so immediately it will start typing the text here. Okay, so that is a disadvantage of driver.navigate to command. Reason for that is sometimes the buttons or text box will not be enabled. Okay, so once the page got completely load, then only the buttons and text boxes will get enabled. So it's always recommended to use driver.get. So it will wait for some time before doing next action. Okay, but this driver.navigate to will not wait. So but here also we can enter the URL whatever is required, and then it will navigate to that particular URL in the browser. So that is navigate to. Second one is navigate forward. So what is this navigate forward?
So once again, he explains the
So
difference.
this driver.get, what it will do, it will wait till the page got loaded, right? So once the page is loaded, then only it will go for the next action. So what is the next action? So it may be anything, whatever action it, in this case, right? So we have given this maximize. So this action will perform only after the page got completely loaded. But this driver.navigate to command will not wait for the page to load completely. So there's no waiting time for this navigate to command, right? So once it enters the URL, directly it will go to the next step. It will start to execute the next step. So but sometimes what will happen, without page completely got loaded, we can't go for the next step. If we go, it will fail, right? Getting it? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So next is forward, navigate forward. So now what we can do, okay, first we can go with this navigate back, and then we can go for navigate forward. Okay, so basically this forward will just do some forward. Okay, backward is it will go backward. So for example here, let me go to this page. Okay, so navigate dot back means it will do this action. Okay, navigate dot forward means it will do this action. Okay, so now we are in this page, right? First what I will do, click I will click this button first. Okay, so that the URL will get changed. So to click this button, right click, inspect, okay, so let me remove all this. So to click the button, driver dot find element by dot export. So for now I'm using this method, but there are totally 8 ways which we can locate to any of the element. Okay, so element means nothing but this. What are the things which you are displaying right here? Text box, button, drop down, everything is called as an element. So driver dot find element by dot export here, double quotes, give this export, finally dot click. So it will click. So once it got clicked, what will happen? So initially it will be in this page. Once I click this, it will come to this page. Now if I do navigate dot back, it will go here. Okay, now again if you do navigate the forward, it will come here. Okay, so let me add some wait command so that it will not do immediately. You can, so that you can see. So thread dot sleep of 5000 milliseconds. That means 5 seconds it will wait. And then driver dot navigate dot back, it will go back, and then again we have to make it to wait for 5 seconds, then come forward. Okay, so we can run this now. Okay, where is the text box? Okay, so ideally it is inside this page. Okay, first we have to click this. So I have copied this class name. Okay, so accordion hyphen button, driver dot find element. Okay, so this itself is another page. Okay, driver dot unit of this dot. So this time instead of export, we can use another method called class name. So I will explain you. So what are these various types of methods we have to navigate the element? Okay, so for now, just focus on this back and forward. So just run this. Okay, it got clicked, right? Okay. Okay, wait, let's wait. It's going backward and again forward, right? So because why it's going here, right? So after this clicking here, so this URL is not getting changed. Okay, so it's going back so that this page is coming and then again forward. This page is again coming. Clear, right? Okay. So next is refresh. Okay, so refresh manually we will be doing this, right? This one or F5. So this refresh also we can do via automation. Driver refresh. Okay, and then we can wait for again 5 seconds. Then we can quit the browser. Driver dot quit. So because every time manually I'm doing, right, so I no need to do that. Instead of that, it will automatically all the browsers will get closed. Got clicked, it went back. Again it will come forward. Okay, and then it will refresh. It got refreshed. So now it will quit. Okay, so I will share all these comments with you guys. Okay, so first you can practice this. Okay, so I'll share this also. Okay, so you just practice now. Okay, we can connect by 12:20. So if you face any issue, just note it down. What are the issues you are facing, and then after 12:20 we can connect and we can discuss about that issue. Okay, so you can use the same website. Okay, so we can connect by 12:20. So, sorry. Hello. Am I audible? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so do you guys face any issue while running? So you, Vaijayanti, and then Pratiksha. Okay, okay. Yeah, Pratiksha, what about you?
Still I'm doing.
Okay. So, but you're not facing
Yes,
any issue,
sir.
right?
To try, sir.
You're trying, but still you're not facing any issue, right? Okay. So we can move to the next topic, web element. Okay. So what is web element? So it's right. So what are the fields which we are seeing in the UI, right? So everything is called as a web element. In this case, text box, submit button, checkbox, radio button. So this is checkbox. So checkbox means we can select multiple values. Okay. Radio button means like true or false, any one, like male, female, right? So that one. So web tables, drop down links, yes, everything is called as a web element. If you want to navigate via Selenium, then what we will navigate is a web element, right? So, so now we can go through this web elements, like what are the actions we can do in the web element, right? So because as part of our testing, everything we will be doing in the web element only, right? So first is we can type some values in the text box and then click this submit button, right? So if we want to type here, first we have to get the element. Okay, so we have to locate this element, right? To locate this element, there are totally 7 ways. So what are those 7 ways? So first I will explain that, then I will go to this thing. Okay, so in order to locate to an element, there are 7 ways. So first one is id, second one is name, third is class name, tag name, css selector, xpath, link text, and partial link text, right? Totally 7, right? 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, sorry, 8 we have, right? So out of this 8, so this CSS selector mostly we will not take. Okay, so let's ignore this CSS selector. So we have this 7 locators. So what is an ID? So out of this 7 locators, okay, sorry.
Sir, your screen is not getting shared, sir.
Okay, is it visible now? Okay, so out of this 7
Ah, yes, sir.
locators, most preferred is ID. Okay, so reason for that is the most easy and also like fastest way to locate the element. Okay, so if for any element, if there's an ID, then we can directly go for this ID. Okay, so how this ID will look, right? So all these locators we can find in the DOM. So DOM means document object model. So how we can navigate to DOM? So go to the web page, right click, inspect, or else F12. This will load. So this is called as a DOM, document object model. So in this DOM, so if you click this 3 dots here, okay, so here we can see 4 options. So first one is this full screen. Okay, it will come in the separate window. So if you want to have this DOM in the UI itself in the same web page, then click on this DOM. Okay, so it will come to the bottom. Same way, if you click here, so it will come to the left, and here this will come on the right. Okay, so whichever is comfortable, you can go for that option. Now let me make it as a separate window only. And okay. So if you want to navigate to this, or else if you want to find an ID or locator for this particular button, then go to this DOM, Okay, so click this arrow mark, come to this web page and click on this. Okay, so click here, you can see this element. Okay, so here we can see multiple things. So for this, there's no ID, but let me check if there is any element which have ID. See, this have ID, right? So what is this element? Oops. Okay, this one. Okay, so this is an ID for this elements. Okay, if you want to click this, if there's an ID, just directly copy this value of ID and come here. Okay, okay, so driver dot find element. Okay, so find element is a method. So which is present inside this Chrome driver. So that's why we are accessing this find element by using an object reference variable of Chrome driver. Okay, so find element. In this find element, we have to pass by method. Okay, so by again it is a class. Okay, so dot id. See, this find element is present in the Chrome driver class, but we are accessing this find element by using object reference variable. This id is also one method which is present inside the by class, but here we are not creating an object for this by, but directly by using this class name we are calling this method. So do you know what is the reason? So this find element is also a method, id is also one method. This find element we are calling with this object reference variable, but this id which is present inside the by class, we are not creating an object for this, but directly by using a class name we are calling. So any reason for that, why we are doing so? Idea? uh, why, Jayanti, do you have idea? Yeah, do you have idea why we are doing like this?
Sir,
So this find element is a method which is present inside the.
to find the element.
So to access this method, we are we are using this object reference variable to call this this method. But this ID is a method which is present inside the by class. But here we are not creating an object for by, but directly by using a class name, we are calling this method. So what is the reason? So
Don't see.
Pratiksha, are you aware? Okay. So let me explain. So this find element, okay, so it is a non-static method. Okay, so to access this non-static method, we are creating an object, and by using this object name, we can access this method. But ID is a static method. So to call the static method, we no need to create an object. So directly by using this class, we can call. So if you go to this ID, see, ID is a static method. So to call the static method, we no need to create an object. But find element is a non-static method. Okay, so here we don't have any static, right? That's why we are creating an object and calling this method by using this object reference variable. So that is the reason. Okay, so find element will basically find the element. So how we can find the element? We'll using these locators. So locators we can, totally there are 7 locators. So among the 7, ID is a preferred. So to access this ID, this is the command by.id. So inside this, we have to pass the ID which we have copied from the down, and then just dot click. Okay, after that, we add some complete, and finally I will quit the driver dot quit. Okay, so you can see this is getting clicked or not. Okay, it is not getting clicked. We have to see a reason for that. So what is the error? Chrome driver session ID. Okay, so something related to the ID only. Okay, so again we can check whether we are taking the correct value. So right click on this and go to inspect. Okay, so here ID is not doing something. We have taken wrong one. Okay, so here we don't have ID, but so this is an ID again. So if anything comes as an ID, this is an attribute and this is an attribute value, right? So this is not the correct ID to click this elements. Now correct value is this one, accordion hyphen button. So but this is the not ID, this is class. Okay, so this is also another locator, this one class name. Okay, so for that instead of ID just give dot class name. Okay, and then give this class name value, and then okay, it got clicked, right? Yeah, so now it got expanded also. Okay, after 5 seconds it is getting closed because I have given quit. Okay, 6 seconds. Same way there are other locators also. So it's called name. So here as like class, there will be another attribute called name. Okay, so by using this name also, we can locate to this element. So where is that name? Yeah, this one name, right? So this is the attribute. Okay, so just by dot name, that's it. We can locate. And this one is a tag name. Okay, so this one also like mostly we will not use. So tag name means this is the tag name. So this form, div. Okay, so these are tags. So if you want to locate anything by the tag name, you can use that method. Okay, but with tag name, it is not recommended because the same tag there will be multiple lots of values. Okay, so we can't navigate to the correct exact one. And so I will come to this export at last. Another is a link text. Okay, so if you want to navigate by using any text, link text. Okay, so link text means it is like visible text. Okay, so like if there's any link, you go to this DOM, href. Yeah, so if you want to navigate with this particular link, okay, we can go to this link text. Okay, so next one is a partial link text. Partial link text is also same. Okay, so but instead of this giving entire value, even though if we give a slash selenium slash, then also it will locate. Okay, so some partial value also it will accept. So just everything is same like that. Dot link text. Okay, so dot partial link text. Okay, but in real time, this and all mostly we will not use. We will use id class name. Okay, so if among this seven, okay, if any among this seven, right? So if anything is not working, final and last option we can go for this X path. Okay, so by using this X path, we can locate any of the element. Okay, so there's no cases like we can't locate. By using this X path, we can directly locate to any of the element. Okay, so one of the easiest way is if you want to locate this particular element. Okay, so right click, copy X path. Okay, and then so this is the X path. By using this, we can navigate to that easily. Okay, but always like we should not copy also. Sometimes what will give, so there are like two types of X path. Okay, so one is this complete X path. Okay, so one is called relative, another one is called absolute. Okay, so this absolute X path we should not use. So absolute X path means, so X path means XML path. Okay, so consider this is an XML. So in the XML, we are navigating from the start to the destination. Okay, this absolute path, what it will do, it will navigate or else it will start the navigation from the start. Okay, so starting means this one, the top, like HTML head body. So starting from this, it will write the X path, and then by using this X path also, for now it will work. Okay, so no issues. But problem is, if by using this absolute X path, if there's any minor change in the UI also, our X path will fail. Reason for that is, so this X path will coming from this starting, right? HTML head. So like this. So always it will start from single slash HTML head, and after that there will be uh, div of 10. Okay, slash, there will be another form. Okay, so form of 1. Okay, so that means in this case there will be like 10 forms. Okay, so among this 10 form we are navigating to the first form, that's why it is coming as form of 1. So here there will be like 100 divs will be there. Among those 100 divs we are navigating, or we are going to the 10th div. Okay, so this is called as an absolute X path. So we should not go with this absolute X path. The reason for that is, tomorrow if there's any minor change in the UI, so this in the fifth div, okay, so they are adding a new column. Okay, or else like new text box they're adding. So what will happen, so this will go to 11. Okay, so what we are considering it is a 10th today will go to an 11th div tomorrow, but in our automation it will be 10th div only. So now if we try to access 10th div of form 1, so this form will not present in this 10th div, but it will present in the 11th div. We are not aware, so test case will fail. Okay, so debugging is time consuming activity. So instead of that, so relative X path also this issue will happen. Okay, but with this relative X path, it will not directly start from the source. Instead of that, it will start from somewhere in the middle. So where this ID or where this class or class name is present, so from there it will start. Okay, so for example, okay, so this relative X path is, here we don't consider, here we don't have any class, but here we have to navigate. What it will do, it will check any nearby values, any nearby div ID or anything is present. So here you can see ID. Okay, so what it will take, copy X path, Okay, so it will take this id slash div. Okay, so slash div means this one. So if any change happened between this id and then this div, then only this XPath will fail. Okay, so probability of failing is less when comparing to this. That's the reason we should go for this relative XPath only, right? So this is an relative XPath and this is an absolute XPath. Okay, so relative XPaths will start from single slash, absolute XPath will start from double slash. So we can directly copy here, but it is like not recommended always to copy here itself. Okay, so what we can do, we can try to learn how to write this XPath manually. So that is easy only. Okay, so how we can write? So we can manually check like which is a nearby ID or class anything, and then based on that we can write like double slash star. Okay, so star means this tag name. Okay, so if we want here in this case, we can make it as div also. Instead of star, we can make it as div of ID. Okay, so this also will work. So star means it is like a universal. So any tag name is present. Okay, it will accept if we put as a star. Instead of star, if we put div also, it will work. That's what I'm saying. So now id equal to collapse 1 slash div. So div means this is the first div. Now if we want to go to this ul, okay, this particular element, what we can do, slash ul. Okay, ul. If we want to go to this, okay, slash. So this is a list. Okay, if we want to go to the list, we have to put li of 1. Okay, first list means li of 1. If you want to go to this list, then 1 2 3 4. Okay, we have to make it as 4. Then this will work. Okay, this is the way we have to write the XPath. Fine, so now we can go to this web element. First is send keys. Okay, we can start with the send keys. Text box. Inside the element, we can have to select this text box. So right click, inspect. See, this is the text box. Okay, so for that we can manually try to write this XPath. Right, so first one is an id of collapse 1. So I think which already we have written, right? So collapse 1. Inside this div ul li of 1. Okay, so li of 1. So let me make it a star itself. Right click, copy, paste it here. Okay, so XPath. XPath. Right, so it will automatically come. We don't need to do it. This slash. Okay, and then click. Right, so first it should click element. Right, okay, so first it should get click this element and then only text box. So okay, right click, go to inspect. Okay, this one, class driver dot find element by dot class name dot click. Okay, so it will click and then it will click. Okay, then wait. So now we have to check for the send keys, right? So once I click, we can see this text box. Here we have to enter the text box. So in order to enter this, right click and we have to fetch the locator for this. We have id, word full name. So now need to go for next option. Copy this. Driver dot find element by dot id of this one full name dot. So now it's not just clicking. Okay, we have to enter the value here. For that, there is a method called send keys. Right? It will enter the value. Okay, now we can run this. We can verify. Got failed. It says class name accordion button collapsed. Okay, so this something is not there. Why? Okay, why this is okay. So we can give some wait statement. Okay, it is not working. Okay, so we can go for export then. Okay, so now before that, one more scenario with this failure I'll explain you. Okay, so now what is happening? So here we are getting some exception, and then it is failing. Because of that, all the other cases are not executing. But in my case, right, so I want to still quit the browser. Okay, so every time manually I am closing the browser. Okay, so that should not happen. So for that, what I can do? So I can give this inside try block, and then inside catch block I can give this quit. So in that case, even though if it fails here, then also our browser will get closed. Okay, so let me run and show you. So this is the use of this exception handling. Yeah.
Exceptional handling.
Okay, browser got closed. Fine. So now we can copy this export only. Okay. So now it got entered, and then browser is not crossing because we have given this quit inside the exception, this catch block. Okay, so we can give here also. Okay, so now value is basically entered here. So this is the first one. So this send keys. Now I have to clear this value which we have entered. So for that we have to give this command clear. Just driver, same line we can copy. Instead of send keys, you can give clear. So it will remove the text which we have entered here, like this. So this is to make sure, like, so we can give alpha, and then we can remove that and again give alpha numeric, and then clear this and again give only numeric, and clear, and then to give special characters. Like that we can do a validation, right? So for that we are using this clear method. So next one, so let me run it later. So click already we have seen, and displayed enabled selected we can see. Okay, first let me run this. Okay, it entered and then it got cleared. Okay, so now browser will close. Yeah, so this is older one, we can manually close. Next one is displayed, is enabled, is selected. Okay, so these three methods will return true or false. Okay, if element is displayed, we have to check whether the element is displayed or not. Then we can go for this method. So if it is displayed, then it will return it as true. Else it will return it as false. And this is enabled. Okay, it may be disabled, it may be displayed in the UI, but it will be in the freeze. Okay, we can't able to edit or we can't able to enter. So this method is used to make sure whether this field or text box is enabled or disabled. If it is enabled, it will return true. If it is disabled, it will return as false. So this is to validate checkbox or radio button. If the tick box are selected, then it will give it as true. If it is not selected, then it will return it as false. Okay, so first we can go for this displayed off. So this one we can use for like validation, like login page validation. Okay, so once we have logged in, I said earlier, like we can check this title. Same way we can verify with this displayed of method also. In the main page, there will be some buttons or some elements will be there. We can verify whether this element is present or not. If that element is present, we can say login is successful. Right, so to so the same element we can see whether it is displayed or not. To check this, copy this same and sys out. Okay, so because it will return true or false, so that we can check in the sys out itself. Dot is displayed of, right? So once we get true or false, then we can do whatever is required. Like in the if condition, you can give this, and then if it is displayed, test case false. If it is not displayed, we can make it as test case fail. Okay, so I will give for other enabled and selected also, so that in the one execution we can verify everything. So disabled, I don't see anything to check disabled or enabled. We can check for this. Okay, so we can check for the submit button whether it is enabled or not. So right click, right click, copy, copy export. So export. Just a minute, go on mute. Yeah, I'm back. So here you can change it as enabled dot is enabled. Okay, so next one is just again copy. You can give it as enabled here, and here you can give it as is selected. Okay, so selected we can check for any checkbox or anything radio button. Now in this case we have to click this one checkbox, and then here we have to select, we have to verify. For selecting this, just copy this line. Okay, so earlier, so this line which I copied, right, it is used to click this text box. Okay, so this is list of 1, so now I have to list of 2. Okay, just make it as 2 so that it will click this checkbox. After that I can verify for this element, inspect. So this is this box to double confirm this. Right, so right click, copy, export. Okay, so now we can add some message so that we can easily understand which is for which one. This one is enabled, value is sorry, this one is disabled, so displayed, enabled, selected. Okay, so we can run and we can check the result. Okay, fine. See, displayed is true, enabled is true, selected is false because the value is not selected, right? So this is the use of this 3 method. Any doubt till now? uh, Vaijayanti or Pratiksha, any doubt? Okay,
No, sir. No, sir.
so submit, click to the submit. So this submit is also similar to click method. Okay, so but always it is recommended to use click button only instead of this submit method. Reason for that is this submit will work only within the form. If there is any form, see this is forms. Okay, this is form. So if you use the submit button, if you click this login button, it will work. But if you try to click this one, okay, so you want to click this element, then if you click the submit button, if you use the submit button, it will not work, right? But if you use click button, okay, instead of submit, so for inside a form and outside of the form also it will work. But if you use submit, it will work only inside the form, right? So you should always use this click method. Okay, this one. Next one is a get text. Get text is used to fetch the text. Okay, so fetch the text means here, so this text if you want to fetch, or this text, or this text. Okay, so what are the values which is displayed here, right? So everything we can fetch by using this get text method. but only condition is, let me go to this DOM and I will show you. Okay, so this is the DOM for this full name. See this one. If I want to fetch, I can directly use the XPath, and then if I give get text, it will fetch this value. Okay, but one thing we have to notice, the get text will work only in this such case. Okay, so inside this tag, you are getting the values, right? So only in this case, get text will work. Sometimes what will happen? So instead of this, here it will be empty. Okay, null. But here, instead of this class, right? Let me make it as a value. So inside this value, this will come. Okay, so in the modern JavaScript, okay, so developers used to give values like this also. So this also will print in the UI like this only. So the UI there will be no difference. It will be as like as this. Okay, so but if you use get text, this will not work. But earlier one will work, right? So but no issues for now. We can right click and take export, and then we can try to fetch the value. Go to this one. So before to this click, we have to fetch the value. So to fetch, we can use this out. Driver dot find element by dot export, and then dot get text. That's it, right? So we can run this program. So if there is any other command similar, we can do it together. Get tag name. Okay, so get tag names. So this also we can give. Uh, okay, so this is get text. Similar thing, just copy. Okay, so next one is get tag name. So instead of get text, just give not get tag name. Okay, so what it will do, it will fetch the tag. So in this case, tag name is label, so it will display label. So mostly this tag name will not use. And next one is this CSS value. So this also we will not use, but still can see dot get CSS value. Okay, so here in the CSS we have to give like font. Okay, if there's anything like font, it will give what font we are it has been used. Okay, so write this. Okay, fine. See, so display enable we already seen. So get text is getting the text. Okay, this full name is the text which we are expected. So we are getting. So label name is tag name is label. So that also we are getting. And CSS value for the font is this one. Okay, so 16 pixel, 24 pixel. So what are the CSS value related to that? It will print here. Okay, this tag name and CSS value mostly we will not use, but text we will frequently will use. Right. So and next one is this get attribute. Okay, so this is also very important one. As I said earlier, right? If right click inspect. Okay, so if The values are like this, we can use get text, but values are inside the tag, then we should use get attribute. So what attribute? Even any attribute, like for this one, for we have class. Okay, everything is considered as an attribute. If you want to fetch the values which is present inside this attribute, we can go for the method name called get attribute. Okay. Copy dot get attribute of what attribute we need. So we need this class. So just copy this class and give it here, right? So example, this full name is present inside this. Instead of class, it will be value. Instead of this value, actual value, it will be full name. So now if we give it as value here, then the exact value which is present for this attribute will display. Then we can validate. Okay, so we can see this. See, CSS value. So this one we have given it a CSS value only. That's why it's coming like that here, right? But this is actually attribute. So this is all about web elements. So any doubt till now? I think today we have seen multiple commands. So any doubts or anything? So just like for 10 minutes, you guys just try it out. What are things which you have seen today? So I will share you this document also in the mail, but for now, let me share in this chat. Okay, yeah. So for just 10 minutes, you guys try. If you have any doubts, just reach out to me. So we can stay in the call and just try, guys. So நீங்க ரெண்டு பேரும் இதுல ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க.